Say marker. I just want to dance with somebody of you guys. Get right to it. Whitney Houston. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan 680.
I'm Angela, the cat lady Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk for movie fans, guys. You bring the movie world right into your ears, devices. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Let's get right to it, guys. Angela, what review are we reviewing today? What film are we talking about today?
We are talking about the latest line in the recent biopic. Very famous celebrities,
Whitney Houston.
Iconic people. Latest line is Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
It is I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Yeah, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. You know, this film, for me, before watching this movie, I was very excited. We saw a trailer for it a few months ago. I know you saw one recently. And for me, before I got into this movie, before I got into this review, I just want to put it into perspective here. The marketing for me, I didn't see it that much. Again, I could be totally wrong here, guys, moviegoers out there. The marketing for this film was very not there, as far as like not everywhere. And when it comes down to publishing and all that.
I mean, since we have heard about this film, that it was coming out for a while now.
I forgot it was coming out this week.
Exactly. And so I know, with a lot of other big blockbuster films coming out, like Avatar and all that stuff, that has been like oozing into every facet of our
Disney,
everything. But this did get kind of lost. But also, I do agree with you. Out of all the trailers, or we saw movies beforehand, since we first heard about this, it really hasn't popped up recently. I think maybe once or maybe twice at the most. So this, which is such a shame, because Whitney Houston is such an iconic household name. You know who she is. She is such a legend. Exactly. She was the voice of her generation. Perfect, beautiful. She's amazing singer, hands down, talented, brilliant. Taken too soon from this earth. So I was really excited to hear how, like, her story, see that on the screen, because we all know her story, and with the drugs and everything, and how it affected her life. But I wanted to see beyond that. I wanted to see who Whitney Houston was, and if this film would capture that and show us that. And I was super excited to see this. Really, it truly was. And my gosh, all the songs, all seeing her life. As sad as it was, I really loved seeing this film. To be honest, I really did. What did you think? Yeah, so,
first and foremost, this whole story, when it comes down to biopics and everything, is that what kind of story are you trying to tell? What kind of direction are you trying to put? With Elvis is a prime example here, ladies and gentlemen. Elvis was trying to do a documentary and a movie at the same time. For me, that's the way I took it. They don't always work. It was a little too long. But this film came out to be a runtime of about 2 hours and 26 minutes, which is almost the runtime as Elvis.
A little shorter.
Yeah, a little bit shorter.
A little bit.
But for the most part, I didn't feel it whatsoever. It felt very entertaining. This whole movie, this whole organization was, as far as the organized as a whole, I feel like for myself, after watching this movie, it was an enjoyable aspect of it to see so many different, there are a lot of things I didn't know about her. A lot of things of the lifestyle, the whole allegations, because we were 90s kids, so you were a little too young to understand the whole situation.
When she initially got real big, we were too young to listen to that.
And they touched up on that. They touched up on a lot of things I didn't even know that she was called, obviously. So much terrible accusations, which because one of them was being called an Oreo, for God's sake, man, an Oreo, which is slang for that you're singing like a Caucasian person versus an African American person.
So that was one of the things
that's very terrible, man. That's ridiculous.
That's the one thing that I didn't know that she had gone through, was that there was controversy with her music, and that's such a shame, because she's very talented, super talented. Oh my gosh.
And I love her response though. Her response is so effing pure, and it's so effing amazing, and I don't even care. That's why I was just like, it was just a beautiful response. It was like, when I sing, I don't sing color. I sing because I'm a good singer. Like, essentially, it's like you're saying you're a great singer. When I listen to music, I don't listen to color. I listen if I like the song, and regardless if it's country, rap, hip hop. I mean, just jazz, alternative rock, anything. Mayday Parade, All Time Low, Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil. I mean, we don't see color. We just see. We like the music. If that's what we like, that's awesome. Enjoy your music. Enjoy your time to yourself, especially movies. When you see an all-African cast, or when you see an all-Asian cast with Crazy Rich Asians, I'm just like, if you enjoy the effing movie, enjoy it. That's your moment. You're enjoying it. But
I gotta agree. I liked seeing that aspect, because again, when she was really big, we were born in '92, so we were pretty young to listen to her music.
But it comes to show that even when you're on top of the world could be your worst enemy. It really can.
So she did fall into hard times, you know, with the drugs and, you know, the situation with Bobby that we come to see, even Bobby with her father, her company. So it was so sad to see that, but it explains, you know, so much of the suffering that she went through. And I liked that we got insight into that. That was really good. I loved it. And I also really like to when biopics show this, when they actually show actual footage or photos or something from the real life person that they're telling a story about. And we get to see that a little bit at the end. And I really like that, right? Yeah. I know the ending performance is, you know, still the actress in the movie. But they did show like her footage of her actually like performing on stage in that scene at the very, very end in the credits. Yeah. Love that. It was such a great ending to such a great film, and I gotta appreciate seeing the big moments in her life and on screen. Yeah. Also, we got to see we touched up a little bit on, and we saw this a little bit with Stanley Tucci's character, which was his the manager at the time, which was what's his name? Was it Clive? Clive. Yeah. So we saw a little bit of aspect in there into more in depth to the relationship, and I love that. I loved how we actually got to see a little bit of like, oh, you were trying to be a lawyer and you get panic attacks. But at the time, though, I liked how they touched up on that. At the time, you can't have that. People were not, all of us as human beings, you know, we weren't, at that time, again, we don't know because we didn't live it there, but what we're getting out of the movie was that at that time, they couldn't mention that because that was like, oh, you're having a panic attack. That means plus also you're being not good. Like I think at Harvard, like one of those Ivy League schools that people pay so much money to and are lucky to get into. So we get to see aspects of like how different it was at that time. And, you know, how that influenced, you know, how she got big and, like, what, you know, happened in her life. So I really enjoyed those little small details there. All the cast was phenomenal. Great. Exactly. Got to give props to the...
So Stanley Tucci, and then, of course, the most embodied person herself, which is the girl that played Whitney Houston.
Naomi Ackie.
Naomi Ackie. Oh, my God. She looked... amazing. She looked just like Whitney.
She did such an outstanding job performance. I gotta give her props. She was fantastic. And
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed her so much. I enjoyed her Stanley Tucci's character as well. It just when it comes to chemistry, when you come and bring in, you know, these different actors and actresses, and like when the chemistry is so, it just felt so good. It really did. With Stanley Tucci, I don't know, man. That guy, he just does amazing. I mean, granted, I anything he was in that Italian documentary that you made me watch, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this Italian documentary, whatever. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was very influential. I thought it was very educating to where the olive oil, the whole Italy, the whole of his home heritage. I love that. That was beautiful. But anyways, going back to this film and everything, you know, it was really interesting to see how Bobby's Brown character came about, how they touched about the scandal, how they talked about the drug use, how they touched about the alcohol abuse, like everything. They touched upon so many different aspects here that I felt like that this whole story was that, and it got us Googling some stuff, and we're just like,
because again, we were too young to really understand or know some of the things that she had started going through.
We knew Whitney Houston's songs and everything, and it was speaking of the songs, it was very different to see how they were picking songs. I thought that was really cool, how they were just picking random songs.
Like that. I like that
she relationship.
Didn't write her music, that she just picked songs and sang them, and like her just finding the perfect song that was right and spoke to her.
I think that was because of the allegations that she got accused of, which was she sings like a white person, or she's not sing black enough. And I think they had to put that in the film to put into perspective. Like, we just sing a hook. And I love that she even says it in the trailer. She's all like, oh, you want a hook? I'll make it a hook. Like, dude, that was awesome. That was amazing. I love that.
It was really cool to see like the songs that she picked and how they became like super iconic things. Like, I want to dance with somebody. Come on. Like that.
And we also got to see a little bit of the peer pressure of her parents, of her dad as a manager, of just the whole,
just anybody like Bobby. You know,
well, we saw a lot of peer pressure with her parents because they were just like, you need to dress in more dresses. That's not your time. But again, she was dressing of a more tomboy look, which I thought wasn't even that bad.
It was a different time.
All I'm saying is that what she was wearing was nothing compared to what we see nowadays. That's all I'm saying.
It was a different time.
I'm just saying, if she's all like, these are my nice jeans, and I'm just like, I'm enjoying it. It was all like, dude.
All I can say to that is it was a different time.
They wanted them to wear dresses, women.
we've come a long way from that from there. So I can see, you know, why they had to include that, because it was a different time.
Definitely. You know, Whitney Houston, I just want to dance. I want to dance with somebody. You know, tells of a joyful, emotional, heartbreaking celebration of the life of the music of Whitney Houston, one of the greatest female R&B pop vocalists of all time, tracking her journey from obscurity of musical superstardom. Amazing. I think that's really good. The only
thing I will say though, I didn't like. There's a random time jump in the middle. That they could have been a little bit more transition smoothly. Like we get that there's a sense that time has passed,
but it doesn't tell us. It doesn't.
I think it's like a one-liner of like, it's been 18 years and blah blah blah. So I think that time jump could have been done a little bit more seamlessly. But as far as the actual stages of her life and, you know, the timeline besides that, I think was done pretty smoothly. To be honest.
You know, there's a lot of this that I took out of it, but the one thing that I very had a problem with in this movie was the way it was edited, the way it was organized, the way it was directed. I felt like it was a little bit off. It felt like a very off, and we talk about the transitions of the time jumps. I didn't like that at all. I thought it was just like, okay, tell us something. Even if it's like, it takes like a millisecond to show us 2 years later. 1994, and they were doing it. That's all I'm saying. They were doing it for a few times. They did it for a few times, and that's not a spoiler because this is a biopic. You have to. I mean, anyone that's this, it's not like a, you know, saying like, hey, this ain't like a Marvel film where it's like, oh, you spoilers, but you know the whole story of Whitney. If you Google it, but it was very time jumps that I did not like whatsoever. The way it was formatted, I didn't like that at all. But again, that's just my take here. But I thought this film was not directed well. I'll say that. It wasn't terrible direction for me. You know, I felt like it wasn't directed well. This was directed by Casey Lemons. I felt like this was not directed by it wasn't structured properly, I guess. We could be missing a lot of footage. Maybe that's why. That
could be.
Yeah. When it comes down to the editing room, we take out a lot of the movie. But I felt like this movie could have been a lot longer. I feel like we could have hit the 3-hour mark.
I don't know, though, because the one thing I will say, though, I really wanted to see if they were to put the interview where her infamous interview where she says crack is whack. But
they didn't do that. I know. I was just like, what?
I really wanted to see because that was really like the epitome of her downfall.
Oh man, yeah.
And you know they don't show it, which is sad. But you do see her, you know, her spiraling in the movie. You know, you see her troubles, and you know she succumbs to, unfortunately, drugs and alcohol. But I do agree with you. There's some parts I feel like they're missing. Like they were, like you said, it was a lot of footage and they cut it down a lot.
There was that crazy scene where she's looks like she is on drugs. It's just, that's a terrible scene right there. Her you know, and I like from the beginning where she was to that scene. You just feel so sad. You could just see you could just see all the pressure and just all the drugs taking effect over her. It took effect over her voice. We saw that a little bit, and it was definitely terrible. And they mentioned it so many times. You know, Whitney, when you set the bar so high, you know, you can only go, you know, you can only go down after that. Like, it's just so high up there. And I'm not going to say she didn't try. Of course she did, but it just is one of those things to where the vocal cords just, you know, weren't the same anymore. And that's, you know, you didn't take care of yourself. So that's one of the things that's tough. It's life, you know, and it's very terrible. But we will never forget Whitney. She will live on for the next generation.
She is an icon that I don't think anyone will ever forget. She's such a historic part of music in our culture.
And that was the thing too. She brought people together. That's the thing about Whitney Houston, and even with the Temptations and all these movies, it was during Temptation, it was a segregation and all that, but it was they felt very influential. We're singing. We didn't see white or black. We saw just people coming together for our music. We're bringing people together. That was the point, getting people to party together, people have a great time together, people to socialize together. And that's what I saw in Whitney's music. It was just, she didn't, you know, she wasn't just like attacking, like it wasn't like attacking one race over another, choosing one over the other. It was just person, you know, and she felt that pressure because she was just like, I'm pressured to be someone, and I'm pressured to be this Whitney Houston, the pressure of being America's princess. And then that was the thing. It was a tough situation to be put in, and it was the pressure because once you're so popular, everyone's gonna talk about you. it's just inevitable.
Well, that's just the way it is when you're famous.
I know. Imagine even now with the technology that we had now. Imagine she got famous now. That's all I'm saying. Like, it just...
Imagine a lot of people got famous back, way back in the day. If they got famous now, with technology now.
Definitely. But was this the film that we deserved, Angela?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to say definitely yes. Rating 1 out of 10. 10 being the highest. When you give this rating?
Oh, an 8. Because I really enjoyed the nostalgia of listening to those songs. Yeah. The way they
mimicked a lot of the
performances. Reenacted the performances. Loved it. Right. Mm-hmm. Great. Even like iconic like music videos that she did. Like super great to see all that. And again, I can't say enough good things about the actress. She was so great. I think it's a solid 8. It's such a good film. I was really pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was a little bit worried about that runtime. Yeah.
Even Ashton Sanders, who played Bobby, was just, I thought he was really good. I know we're like booing. I know you were like booing. But I gotta admit, I was asking questions because I didn't know the whole love story.
I gotta say, if there's an actor or an actress that we have strong feelings about because of their character, then they did a good job.
Like Matt Smith.
They did a good job in their role because they did their job in invoking a strong emotion from us or a strong response from us. Like for example, the actor who played Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
I know. I was gonna say Joffrey. I know.
Everyone hated him.
He's probably just a nice person. But that's
because he did such a good job in his role. Same thing with Bobby Brown. Bobby. But that actor did such a good job portraying him, looked so much like him and did such a great job. So all the cast, all of them did really great. So I think it was a solid 8, in my opinion. I really do stand by that.
Definitely. All right, guys. But the question is for y'all. What did you think of this movie, guys? We're gonna recommend this film to you moviegoers out there. Also, I do want to put out there that for myself, I feel like the time it came out was not the right time.
I agree.
I felt like this
Avatar hullabaloo.
Yeah.
I think it could have.
This movie should have been out the first week of December. Because right now, families are together. They're enjoying it. Oh, happy holidays, by the way, from us. Families are together. They don't want to see... Or maybe the parent... I mean, it's tough. Because you can't take your kids to go see this movie.
It's hard.
You cannot take your kids to see this movie.
Because the big dominating forces in the movie theaters right now is either Avatar or if you have family with small children, it's Puss in Boots.
Which we did review. Check that out on the
guts. But so I could see where... this isn't the film you could take to see as a big family with small kids
and that's what everyone's together for the holidays.
It's a 2.5 hour film. And not everyone knows Whitney Houston, especially not very small children. They may not be
they know her famous songs though, I would say. At least they've heard them at some point.
But this isn't really a film you take children to.
No, God, no.
I agree with you. I feel like this should have been released at a different time to get a better reception or better audience turnout.
Agreed.
Do I think that takes away from the film? Absolutely not. I hope people do still see it in theater to support it, because I think it is a film that does definitely need to be supported.
Definitely, yes.
I agree with you on that.
All right, questions for you guys. What did you think of this movie review? What did you think of Whitney Houston? I Want to Dance with Somebody. First and foremost, I do want to say that again. I keep thinking about it over and like recontemplating that title. I don't know about that title.
I like this.
I think they should have just called it Whitney Houston. But I mean that because they called Elvis the biopic Elvis. They called Johnny Cash I Walk the Line.
Well, but to be fair, they also did Rocket Man.
John, true. So. But that was called Rocket Man.
That was one of those songs.
Okay. Well, I mean, all I'm saying, maybe it could have just been called "I Want to Dance with Somebody," or
because that's one of her more iconic songs. Except next to
I mean, she has many iconic songs, but
that's okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, questions for you guys. What did you think of this? Are you agreeing with us on me on the title or not? I feel like it should have been a little bit better title, but that's just my take here. Or just call it Whitney.
It could have been called Whitney.
Whitney. That would have been good. Again, Sony, take it with the greatest salt, guys. But once again, the question is for you. What did you think of this movie? Did it meet your expectations? Are you going to go see this in theaters? Are you going to go see it during Christmas Day? Put in comments down below, guys. If you have not already, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
Stay safe, San Antonio, and stay warm because it is freezing temperatures here coming out to you guys. All right, stay safe, San Antonio. Catch you later.